a paddleboarder on the Gold Coast has captured the unnerving moment. Two jet skis almost collide with his board.
Dr. Anthony Erickson is now calling for urgent action following a long list of near misses, and he joins us live now from the Gold Coast. Anthony, good morning to you. I mean, they certainly looked like they came a little too close for comfort. How concerned were you in that moment?
Yeah, good morning, guys. Not that concerned. It's a bit of an occupational hazard if you train on the Gold Coast these days. But so it's not so much how close they came. You can see these guys coming from a long way off. It happens frequently. What I was surprised about was the force of the water that came from these guys. I mean, these things are about, some of them are up to about 450 k's in weight. They're travelling at about 80 k's an hour in a 11.1 kilometre an hour zone. So I was a bit surprised at that. You get a bit concerned for other people. I'm sort of competent on a board, so I'm not going to get knocked off. But other people would have a problem. It's not a good look for the Gold Coast either, I think, to have this type of exposure.
Just give us an idea on how ticked off you are.
At the moment, not ticked off at all, basically. Like I said, I've had quite a few of these incidences over the year, and some of them are intentional and some of them are kids in tinnies. So it just, like I said, occupational hazard. I have a GoPro permanently attached to the front of my board so I can record. I'll point it out. And I pointed it out to the second two of these jet skiers, but they seem to almost, I think, take that as a challenge, a testosterone challenge, and they say, well, we're going to do it anyway, basically. So it doesn't help that much.
I think what you're saying is right, Anthony. I mean, you might be a competent person out there on the water, but there are others who wouldn't be, like myself, for example. If I was to get out there, there's every chance I would have fallen off the board, and that is scary, and that can risk people's lives.
Look, there's a lot of conversation about this on the coast. I know a lot of people that have been spoken to people, older people. I say old, I'm 64, but older people that have had these guys charge them in tinnies or jet skis, and they're trembling afterwards. They said, look, we thought we were going to die. And I'm not over-dramatising. That's their words, not mine, basically. So yes, somebody who's less competent, somebody who's new to the coast, somebody who's just out for, it was a beautiful day that day, and you're getting that sort of behaviour, basically. Yeah, it can be it's going to be a problem. It is a problem.
All right, so it's got to be illegal and that kind of speed,
totally.
and it has been likened to the Wild West. But what do you want to happen here?
I think there's a lot of things that have got to happen. I think we've probably there's a cultural problem in terms of a lot of people look at this issue as it's just kids having fun, it's just water, nobody's been hurt and that. So we've been lucky so far. But I mean, you shouldn't judge the behaviour, I think, just on the consequences. You've got to look at the behaviour itself. It's got to start at several levels. I think it's got to start with the parents. And I've spoken to the parents of some of these kids, and those conversations have frankly been really disappointing. I think it's got to come from the community as well. There were so many people ticked off about it, basically, but not too many want to stick their hands up. People say, look, I've got a boat down the front, I'm worried about retribution, I'm worried about those sorts of things. It's got to come from the police. And I'm not critical of the police at all, because I've spoken to the water police several times. They don't have the people to do it, basically. And it's probably got to come from people above them. So it's a problem, and we need to deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, it can have fatal consequences, as we saw in Sydney recently. Anthony, thank you for joining us this
Thanks, Anthony.
morning.
Well, many of us have heard of quiet